Imagine you're sitting in a high-end restaurant. The lighting is perfect. The food arrives, a masterpiece on a plate. What is your first instinct? Your phone is out before the steam even clears. Click, filter, caption, story, done. You validated the meal to the world before you've even tasted it. But then you notice a person at the table next to you. They aren't looking at their food through a lens, they're smelling it. They're engaging in a conversation that isn't being interrupted by pings. There is no phone on the table. There isn't even one in their pocket. In our hyper-connected world, we look at these people as if they're aliens. But what if the truth is the opposite? What if they are protecting something the rest of us have already lost without even realizing it? In the next few minutes, you'll understand why staying offline is the most radical act of rebellion in 2026. We're diving into the neurobiology of those who refuse to participate in the digital theater. After this, you'll look at your smartphone and your own life through a completely different lens. Think about this. When was the last time you sat in silence for 10 minutes without reaching for your pocket? We live in an era where non existence on Instagram is almost synonymous with social death. Nearly 5 billion people are now part of this network. The average user spends over 2.5 hours every single day scrolling through the highlight reels of others. We've turned our private lives into public performances, but they exist. The ghosts. People who consciously choose to swim against the current. They aren't just tech haters, they are often high performers and elite artists. Why? Because they've understood a fundamental truth. Attention is the only currency you don't get back. To them, every like is a micro theft of their focus. Now, here's where it gets uncomfortable. The problem isn't the technology, it's how it's been weaponized against your biology. Social media exploits a primitive survival mechanism, the drive for social validation. In our past, being liked by the tribe meant survival. Today, that drive has been hijacked. Every time you get a like, your brain releases dopamine. It's the same chemical reward system triggered by gambling. But it's not just about the hit, it's about the uncertainty. Silicon Valley designed these platforms like slot machines. You never know if the next scroll will bring a boring ad or a life-changing update. So you keep scrolling, looking for that digital sugar. Stop for a second. Ask yourself, are you scrolling because you want to see something or because you're afraid to stop? People who avoid social media have decided they don't want to be the ones pulling the lever. They aren't just quitting an app. They are reclaiming their dopamine receptors. They've realized that if the product is free, you are the product being sold. But here's the shock moment most people never consider. This is the phenomenon of digital amnesia. Researchers have discovered something terrifying. When you take a photo of a moment, you are literally telling your brain it doesn't need to remember it. You are outsourcing your memory to a JPEG. By documenting your life for an audience, you are effectively deleting the real experience from your biological hard drive. The ghosts understand this. While you have a gallery of photos you'll never look at, they have a library of vivid, high-definition memories they actually lived. They aren't just saving time, they are saving their own history. Now let's talk about the biological toll. Let's talk about the pilot of your brain. Deep in your brain, there is a section called the prefrontal cortex. Think of it as the pilot of your life. It's responsible for your focus, your logic, and your willpower. Every time you check a notification, you're forcing the pilot to look away from the controls. Heavy social media use literally thins the pilot's seat. It makes the pilot weak, distracted, and prone to panic. Meanwhile, those who stay offline protect their creativity engine. Think of it as a quiet room in the back of your mind where your best ideas are born. When you're constantly scrolling, you lock the door to that quiet room. You trade deep thinking for 15-second clips. The ghosts have kept the key. They can daydream. They can solve complex problems. They can breathe. But here's the part no one admits, and it's the most important distinction in this video. Not everyone who stays off social media is doing it for freedom. Sometimes it's about fear. Some people stay offline because they are terrified of being seen and judged. This is the fear versus freedom trap. One is empowerment, the other is a prison masquerading as principle. If you're avoiding the digital world because you're scared of opinions, you're still being controlled by them. The ghosts we are talking about aren't hiding. They are choosing presence over performance. They aren't afraid of the audience. They've simply realized the show is a waste of time. Now let's look at the most brutal metric of all, the 38-day reveal. 2.5 hours a day. In 2026, that adds up to 912 hours a year. That is 38 full days. Think about that. Every single year, the average person gives away over a month of their waking life to a corporation's bottom line. People who don't use social media get that bonus month back, while the rest of the world is stuck in continuous partial attention, half present, always waiting for a notification. These people own their time. What would you do with an extra 38 days a year? Would you learn a language? Write a book? Or finally get to know the people living in your own house? They aren't playing a game they can't win. On social media, you're comparing your behind the scenes with everyone else's highlight reel. It's a game rigged to make you feel not enough. People without social media have simply left the casino. They are no longer part of the comparison economy, and that makes them almost invincible to modern anxiety. Here's the twist. We believe social media makes us more social, but the data suggests the opposite. We are more connected than ever, yet record numbers of people feel lonely. People without social media often have fewer contacts, but significantly deeper relationships. They don't spread their energy thin across 500 acquaintances. They invest 100% of it into the person standing in front of them. They've understood that real connection happens in the pauses. It's too raw for a curated video. They aren't personal brands. They are just human beings. In a world of marketing, simply existing is the ultimate luxury. This is where the true rebellion begins. It's about autonomy. Are you using the tool, or is the tool using you? Are you on that app because it enriches your soul, or because your brain has been hijacked by an algorithm that profits from your insecurity? The ghosts figured out that the only thing you're really missing out on is the noise. The things that actually matter, real joy, deep connection. Those things always find you. You don't need a feed to tell you who you are. So here is the mental blow that stays with you. We think the people without social media are the ones missing out. We think they are the ones becoming invisible. But look closer. In a world where everyone is performing their life for an audience that doesn't care, the only person who is truly real is the one who doesn't need to prove it. The rest of us are becoming digital ghosts, echoes of ourselves trapped in a server in Virginia. They are the only ones who are actually still alive. You don't have to delete your accounts today, but tonight, leave your phone in another room. Go watch the sunset. Don't take a picture. Don't think of a caption. Just look at it with your actual eyes. Notice how it feels to have an experience that is yours alone. If you feel that pull, that uncomfortable urge to check your pocket, know that you aren't alone. That's the algorithm fighting for your soul. But you can fight back. By hitting the subscribe button and joining this community, you're choosing to spend your attention on understanding the world, rather than just scrolling through it. And I want to hear your thoughts. Could you imagine going completely offline for 30 days? What are you most afraid of losing if you did? Let's have a real conversation in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Stay present. Stay